Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Social Distancing Social Club. We have been having so much fun with this. We've been growing. We started out with a couple thousand viewers. We're now up to about 20,000 per stream. It has been amazing. We're going to start doing live comedy club stuff next week, which is going to be so much fun, I hope. It's because of you, the audience. We are streaming on Facebook. We are streaming on Twitch. We are streaming on YouTube. If you want to support the show and also make sure you get our attention for your questions or your comments, here's how you do it. On YouTube, Super Chat. On Facebook, you can throw a Venmo or a PayPal. Venmo is in the top right of the screen, and PayPal is at laughfromhome.com. Or Facebook has a new thing. Now you can throw us some stars. Stars, it's like their weird in-game currency thing for gamers, but they let us do it because they like the show so much, so they send it to us. Anyway, and of course, if you're on Twitch, you can do the Venmo and the PayPal as well. We love to hear from each and every one of you. We love to get your questions. And we're going to play a game, as always. But first, let me introduce one of the other members of the Quarantine. Please welcome, you know him as the host of Idiot Test on Netflix. You also know him because he was a regular on Chelsea Lately for many, many years. Please welcome Mr. Ben Gleib, everybody. Ben Gleib!
Thank you. Welcome, Isolation Nation. Things are going well here for me on day 8 billion and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Feel mentally strong. I might not look it, but that's on you. That's your prejudices and judgments that you're throwing on me. Maybe judge yourself instead. Try to turn inward.
Ben, can I ask a quick question?
I guess so.
Do you have your sense of smell back?
I got my sense of smell back.
Yay!
That's amazing. Did you trade your comb for it from an evil genie? Like, how did
I did. I had to go have one or the other, looking amazing like usual or being able to smell, and I chose my sense of smell. It's actually a strange way it came back and a little gross, but my dog Henry Horse has a anal gland issue that occasionally releases the worst smell on planet Earth. And yesterday I say to my girlfriend, I think I smell Henry's thing again. And she goes, you smell? I'm like, oh my God, I smell. That smell finally came to use for something positive. It activated my nose, and now I can smell lemons, and I can smell a rose, and things smell a little weird, but I do have my sense of smell back. So that is an incredible update.
Yeah, hey Ben, one thing I always thought was weird, the anal gland. The people that take care of that are the groomers, and I always thought that was probably something a vet should handle, not the guy that cuts the hair. You know,
that's a fair point. I actually get that done at the vet, so I don't know what's wrong with your weird groomer that you're bringing your dog to.
Either way. That's by the way, that is Mitch Burrow. We will introduce him a little bit later. He is one of our comedians. But let's go to our third host.
Yes, so it is my esteemed pleasure and honor to introduce the man with the jacket plan, the guy that always makes you feel underdressed even during the apocalypse. Please welcome Chris Bowers, everybody.
Woo!
Hey! We are getting to the back of the closet. This is my themed Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animals jacket that my dad got me for Christmas last year. He tries to buy me the worst present every year. That's one of his jokes. My dad's funny. And this was one of them. I will say I thought I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning with coronavirus, but it was just acid reflux from all the Fritos I had yesterday. So I'm good still. So let's do it.
That's fantastic. Party, also, by the way, I do enjoy that jacket exists, because that jacket wasn't just made as a custom thing that your dad got for you. That jacket was made to sell to people. Seriously. Like that. Someone had an idea that was like, I know what'll hit the shelves this year. And it was that. So your dad being the one guy in history buying that jacket. That is a collector's item.
My stepmom works at Disney, and so he gets 50% off at the Disney store. So he goes and tries to buy the worst shit at the Disney store he can find every year. That's one of his goals. So I have sweatshirts with Darth Vader, Mickey Mouses, and all kinds of weird shit. It's hilarious.
Well, let me just say that was an absolute success on your dad's part. That jacket is hideous. So with that, we have some audience to say hello to as well, and then we're going to introduce our special guest. So some people joining us here on the front row. If you want to join us in the front row, the way to do it is you go to laughfromhome.com, pick up a ticket, and then you can be on video with us. It is it's finally entertainment, live entertainment. It's not going to be passive anymore. All right, so we've got a bunch of people kind of coming in and out. Let's say hi to some of them. So we have Endless DMJ, who, by the way, is the person, if you saw the episode where there was the little boy that got pregnant, that's him. So we're going to find out more about that story in a little bit. With a wonderful lie from his parents. We've got Mario, we've got Brian, we've got Byung is back, we've got Megan, we've got Ryan, we've got Tony is back. We love you guys. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for being in the front row. And if any of the front row people have some questions or anything, just toss them in the chat, and Rachel will get to you. Meanwhile, some super chats and some Venmos are already on their way in here, but we'll get to those in a second, because right now we get to introduce the special guest.
Yes, I am very excited about this moment. We've been getting guests that have been blowing people away, and this is even the next level of the next level. This man is. It's very exciting. This man is one of the most famous comedians in all of Brazil, I'd say in all of Latin America. He's taking America by storm. He was the host of CQC, a show I did a pilot for here in America. We tried to bring it here, and we didn't get it here. That's because we're dumb. That's the pilot I messed with Hillary and Obama and McCain for. He was the host of the show. He also hosted Liga. I think it might still be. He was named by the New York Times in 2011 the world's most influential person on Twitter. You know him from shows that you love if you're Brazilian, like Os Ricos Também Choram, Modern, Descolados, Las Olímpias, or movies such as Ouriço Vosotros, El Dog Napper, Copa de Elite, Isto del Melo. Please give it up for Rafinha Bastos.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes. Ben, why do you sound like a vampire when you're trying to speak Portuguese? Oh my God. Thank you very much for this great introduction.
Thank you for being here. I will suck your blood by show end.
I think this is a little... If I knew that this would be my introduction, I would at least prepare a better background, because I look like I am in a third world country indeed. Okay. Yeah.
What is it like?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. What is it like being quarantined in Brazil? Are you in Brazil right now?
Bro, the thing is, yes, I am in Brazil right now. So yeah, we are poor and we are dying. Back to you, Ben. That's basically this is gonna happen.
But hold on a second. But Rafi, what about the quarantine? Not just like regular Brazil.
That's why, that's the crazy thing. You Americans, you're all upset because you have to stay home and it's annoying. For us, it's like it's a few more weeks alive in this world, so it's okay,
Nice.
It's the only place where we actually feel safe in this country is being home. So actually the number of crimes and murders and robberies just like dropped a lot in this few months. So we are actually deciding if we are going to go back to the streets or not. This is where we are.
I
actually have a theory. I have a theory that sometimes horrible things actually save lives. Like, and this might, all right, we're going to see where this goes, but Hurricane Sandy, all right? Horrible tragedy, killed, I think it was 71 people, all right? Hurricane Sandy hit the east coast of the U.S., and so it forced everybody to stay home in Newark and Baltimore and DC and Philly and some of the most crime-ridden cities in the country. And the murder rate actually dropped lower than 71. So it is my theory that Hurricane Sandy killed people, but also saved lives.
Probably the 71 people that got saved were criminals that were shooting people, or hurricane killed regular people. So I get what you're saying, kind of, but like,
I mean, I think that this is the moment where the quarantine has affected our brain so much that now Hofstetter has become Bowers with absurd theories. In line in tomorrow's show, social distancing social club host says coronavirus saves lives.
Honestly, and this is a crazy Bowers theory. This is clearly a crazy Bowers theory, but I've been saying for a couple of days now, this is going to help with climate change for sure. 3 months with nobody driving cars and like us limiting this stuff is going to help climate change a bunch. And then I'm thinking half the people aren't going back to work at an office. They're going to work from home and figure this out in 3 months and not use Zoom like we are. And it's going to change. I think that this will be the point where we look back and say, that's where we beat climate change was during this pandemic. There's a point where I think this is going to really help the whole world.
Yeah, but in fairness, you're saying that from a comedy club green room.
No, let me just say one thing before we start, because Ben told you guys that he was one of the reporters in a show that they did a pilot and didn't work. Yes. So just for you to have an idea how much Ben sucked, the host was Greg Girardo. So after Ben did his little sketch in the show, the host killed himself.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That is a fact.
It's our second Greg Giraldo reference on this show. The last one was funnier. This one was a little bit more sad, but still.
Yes, this is the first.
This one was
the first
pretty
time
damn funny.
That's the first time I've been blamed for his death on the show. So that's a first. Another distancing social club first. Thank you so much.
I have spent time with Ben, so I believe it. It actually makes sense to me.
Thank you so much to Mitch Burrow, who has since been bumped from our show.
And I just want to thank this girl called Natalie Crawford, and she just donated $10, which is basically she can buy a house in my country. So thank you very much, Natalie. Thank you.
So Ravi's checking out the super chat. So speaking of super chat and the Venmos, let's go to a couple real quick before we announce the game of the episode. Love the game. Dave Adler, a regular supporter of the show, throws in $5.83 and says, all I have left in my Venmo. Working 17 hours today, can't relax and enjoy isolation with you all this time. Have a great show. Thank you much, Dave. Always appreciate your support. Byung Sa, who is in our front row, says, I have to leave early because Resident Evil 3 got released. I'll make some donations with jokes, though. So much appreciated. And I think he entered a submission as well to a contest we're not having quite yet. But we'll get there in a second. Rachel, what do we got coming in on the YouTube?
Yeah, so we've got we had a comment from Twitch actually. He said, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal," from Tweepex.
Nice.
We had a Facebook comment. Kay Vaughn said they came in right at anal gland. So thanks, Ben.
What's up, buddy?
Me at anal gland.
Super chat, $5 from Revel. I've been curious for a while, but why does Bowers have a brick behind him on the table?
That's a good question. So this brick, Morty's Comedy Joint in Indianapolis was in old Don Pablo's building. It was like 25 years old. And then they sold our building to Panera and tore it down. And once they knocked all the building over, I went over and grabbed a brick from my old comedy club and put it on my green room desk that I stole from Morty's as well. So that's where that came from.
Nice. By the way, I gotta say, for those who don't know what happened, when Morty's was knocked down, Morty's being the comedy club that we used to own and a wonderful place for comedy, it was just in the nick of time because without it, there wouldn't be a 16th Panera in Indianapolis. And there was a place in Indianapolis where you had to walk more than 1.5 miles to get to a Panera. It's just inappropriate. And I say walk. No one in Indianapolis knows how to walk. It's all driving. But still, the point is that really what they did is charity.
Yeah, well, they saved me. I mean, we were going to go out of business anyway. I just told them, hey, if you can sell this building, do it, because we're fucking done. And that was pre-pandemic. Jesus Christ, I can't imagine what we'll be doing right now.
Wait, so there's no more Morty's Comedy Club?
For 3 years? How long has it been? 2 years?
3 years.
I just thought you guys stopped booking me. I'm so glad to hear this.
We also stopped booking you. Then we tore it down a year later.
Got it.
Ben's just going there and be like, what? Morty's went out of business 10 years ago? Be like, yes, 10 years ago. Yes, it's been.
I have a cool brick story. I'll find the brick for a future episode, but I was in, I forget the town in Oklahoma, in Nebraska rather specifically, but I was doing the Great American Comedy Festival in Johnny Carson's hometown. I think it's actually Norfolk. Nebraska. And I went to visit Johnny Carson's childhood home. I love Johnny. This is a mug replica from the one from the Tonight Show's desk. And I go to visit his childhood home on my birthday, happened to be there during this festival. And the owner of the home shows up, the current owner. I told him it was my birthday, and Johnny is why I'm a comedian and TV host. And he gives me one of the bricks from Johnny's home, from the fireplace of the home. And so I get this brick. It's an awesome piece of memorabilia. And then I see a bunch more bricks there, and wanting to share and make my piece of memorabilia less valuable, I said, are you going to use this pile of bricks for anything, or could I invite other comedians? He said, why not? So I told the festival, and there's probably about 20 comedians that own a brick from Johnny Carson's childhood home.
By the way, Ben, can you make a promise to me about that brick?
Yep.
Never make fun of Bowers for telling a long story again.
Let me just explain what kind of brick it is. It's a northwest.
Do we have any more super chats coming in?
Yeah, we've got quite a few.
Great. And then I have a
cool.
question for Rafi after that.
All right, let's do some super chats. We'll go to Rafi. We'll do the game.
So we had Nathaniel Crawford give $10 and a shout out. We just found out that Carrie, our regular, is in the hospital right now. So this is just a get well shout out. I don't know if she'll hear it tonight, but I hope it makes a difference. And there's a lot of us in the chat sending her well wishes.
Whoa,
Oh,
feel
that's
better,
super
Carrie.
nice. Yeah.
Carrie, feel better. Our thoughts are with you.
Yeah. We have, what is it? Nathaniel Crawford also gave $10 and said, what does $10 convert to in Brazilian currency, Rafi? Sorry, apart from the Pope, I know only a little what I remember about South America from a 6th grade report, and I covered Argentina.
You become the president.
So, Rafi, what is
$10 in Brazil? Let me think. You can buy the whole country. I think to $10 because you know what? That's the problem with all this crisis. But the dollar is getting crazy. Now, $1 is 5 of my money. So $10 is like 50 of my money.
So how much more once you buy the country do you have to pay for security?
No, man, I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Rafi, so are people for real taking the quarantine more seriously there? Are they not dancing and wearing feather stuff on their heads? Are people staying home?
Oh, nothing like a good Brazilian stereotype. Okay. The thing is, the crazy thing is that Carnival, this big party where everybody has sex on the streets, happened 1 month ago.
Wow.
So if we had this whole crisis during Carnival, that would be like a huge problem. But the problem that we are living right now is that our president, which is like Trump plus 100, because he's like an ultra right wing, and he is the only world leader that is going public to say, you know what, just go to work, don't stay at home. You're going to crash the economy. Even the government, even his government is telling people to stay home, but the president is telling everyone to go out on the streets and just live life like nothing happened. And this is just like a little fever. It's not going to kill us. And this is what is happening right now. But people are at home because, fortunately, we are watching what is happening all over the world. But we didn't have that many deaths yet. I think we lost like 350 people now. So just like Trump here at home, people just completely ignore Bolsonaro and don't care what he says. Exactly. And the states are telling people to stay home. So he's fighting with the states. It's getting crazy here now. So
here's a question we had from an earlier episode. Actually, you're a good person to ask because we move on crisis to crisis in this world, and it's hard for us to even keep up. Are all the fires in the Brazilian rainforest out, or is there still an issue there?
They never stopped that. The thing is, that was the only moment I think in our history that the American people was talking about the fires. But thanks to your hashtags, we don't have the fires anymore. Thank you, guys.
Rafi, I have a question.
Forest. Thank you. Thank you. Kim Kardashian saved our forest.
Yeah,
Rafi, I do have a question. When it's safe to go out again, do they just turn the paddle to the green side?
What is the paddle? What is the paddle?
That's all Americans know about Brazil is your steakhouses where you eat with green and don't eat with red. That's all we got for you, Rocky. We don't know.
But that's not the big issue. The huge issue right now is that women are not waxing their vaginas anymore. That's a huge issue.
problem.
Getting crazy. So, in one side, we are losing the forest, but we are actually gaining some so good.
All right, so
perfect.
we got to get through some Venmos and some Super Chats. We're gonna do the game, then we're gonna have our first comedian. Jennifer Kofet, a frequent supporter, throws in $5 with a hi and a wave emoji, or it could be a washing hand. We don't know. Mary Kate Lampron throws in 2 laughing faces, much appreciated. Kristen Suzek throws in $10 and says, "Thanks for bringing some laughs to the show, or to the shit show of a year. Extroverts were not built for this." And then Becky Dale, with a preset tip. Becky Dale throws in $50 for Mitch Burrow, says, "We love Burrow, Seattle fan club." Much appreciated, Becky Dale.
Wow.
And
Angela Opolinsky throws in $10, says, "Bowers, we love you." And this is a donation for a laugh from home Floby. Make sure Gleib gets to use it first. And then a bunch of other random things, including telling Tony that apartment is clearly not his. It's not clean enough. So with that said, Rachel, let's do a couple Super Chats. We'll announce the game, and then we'll go to the first set.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Rachel, quick thing before you do that. I wanted to announce too that our celebrity guest today, Rafi, has generously offered to donate his portion of the proceeds as well. So this episode today, your tips go even more money to comedians who are struggling and out of work. So if that's a little impetus to tip a little extra, thank you, Rafi, for doing that.
Yeah, thanks, Rafi, especially because the tips could buy so much more in your country. So thank you.
All right, so we've got Flight of 2 gave $10 and said, "This is by far my favorite conference call every day. Thanks for keeping us laughing." We have Beetle Greg gave £5 and said, "I'm glad Mother Earth is saving herself. Good for her."
Nice.
We have a Cougars Cub, $10 and said, "Steve, any updates on your Tinder imposters? Also, any word for July dates?"
July dates, I mean, I hope that they're happening. My Tinder imposter was there was someone who made a Tinder profile, used 3 of my pictures, not even good ones, they were like random old ones you could find on Google, and said he was 32. So I was like, oh well, good for you for, I mean, I took that as a compliment. I'm 40. We don't know. He was in Central Washington. I encouraged everyone on Tinder in Central Washington to try to swipe through to find him. But so far, no. The person who found it and sent it to me did swipe right on him, but apparently he didn't swipe right on her. So my imposter decided not to catfish her, which is a shame.
So fake Steve Hofstetter has higher standards than regular Steve Hofstetter?
Anyone does. So, and by the way, don't you talk to me about standards with that jacket on. So we also have a Venmo from Young Sa, who's in our front row, regular supporter of ours. Says this is a late April Fool's Day prank from his girlfriend. She's really dedicated to goes all out. Girlfriend did the whole break up with a boyfriend as a joke prank, went all out, but stretching this out, it's been 2 years. It's a bit excessive. Nicely done. Had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Rachel, what else we got? Super chat.
We got a couple more. £5 from Beetle Greg again and said, a big hello from a village called Histon in Cambridge, UK. So he's awake and it's quite late there, right?
Yeah, that's like it's like, yeah.
Razor gave $5 and he has a game suggestion at some point. He said for today, but we already have a game for today. He said, food or things you put on food that you find in your cupboard that you never remember buying. but never remember being out of.
Oh, like
Okay.
just a random food that's in your cupboard. I think right
That's
now
very specific.
we're all very acquainted with what is in our cupboard because it's
Mm.
like I think this is the most accurate I've ever been about what is in my house because I'm terrified to go get more of any of it. So I think I certainly know what I have right now. What else we got?
So we've got Dakota Riesinger gave $10 and said, I would love to start making jokes, but I live in the middle of Missouri, so that's a joke in itself.
That's yeah, you got half your material. Your first set, you just go on stage and go, eh?
And the last one, Ashley Borden, $2, and it's for Bowers to motorboat me virtually.
Whoa. That is a specific one.
Very specific.
Wow.
All right,
yes.
yeah, that's I love that
And
Bowers.
I will say the virtual best moment of my life, Ashley Borden. I'll give you that.
I will just say that, like, I love that Bowers, you didn't take the moment to be like, oh, you know what? If everybody throws in a couple bucks, I will do that. You're just like, yeah, sure. I'll do that for free.
Well, yeah, this is the first time I've been paid to sexually harass a woman. I mean, come on, Jesus, I gotta take advantage of that.
It's not sexual harassment if someone says, please do this to me. Just so you know.
Hey,
that's the
let's
one
make sure
time
we
it's
all-
okay to
let's-
do
let's-
things.
Let's make sure we all agree on that. There you go. That has to be
Informed
that.
consent. Okay,
That
anyway.
is how it goes, Bauer. That is the definition of the word. Confusing to me that you didn't know that when somebody asked you, that makes it not harassment. You just thought,
All right, that said,
girl does anything.
I've never been asked by a woman to do anything sexually before, so that threw me off my game. It's never happened.
we are running so late. Let's do the game.
Yes.
All right. The game today is, what is the most outrageous excuse you've ever gotten for someone being late or not showing up to something, whether it's work or an appointment or just your house? What's the most outrageous excuse you've ever heard? That's today's game. Again, $5 if you want to be in the game. If you win the game, you get a copy of all the 12 total albums from the hosts of the show, Ben, myself, and Steve. And you also get a ticket to a front row show in the future. So that's what it is today. The most outrageous excuse you've ever heard for someone being late or missing an event or not getting to you.
So
And
feel
with
free
that-
to feel free to play the game if you want to submit it. It's submit for free or throw in $5 to be eligible. But that said, I'll do a real quick one to start. I had someone show up 5 minutes late to a date, and she apologized and said that it was because her grandmother died. And I was like, "But that took you 5 minutes?
Yikes.
What were you doing?" That's just fine. Oh yeah, I just had to console my mom real quick. But hey, let's get an appetizer. I was like, this is real weird. So I never found out if it was true or not, but it didn't seem true.
That was at the exact same time both she and her grandma were late.
Oh. Nicely done. All right, with that, let's introduce our first comedian.
All right, coming up first. She's an amazing comic. She's part of a special called Apropos of the Time. Everything is Fine on iTunes and Spotify. Give her the very funny Katrina Davis. Everybody give Katrina Davis a big hand.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for giving me an excuse to like put on lipstick and wear contacts. I'm really appreciative of that whole thing. I've been watching so much Netflix like everyone else. But I have a major beef with something that a lot of people have been really into, which is Joe Exotic. Because I'm from Florida and I know that he's supposed to be like this amazingly entertaining guy, but they make that guy by the truckload where I'm from, and he's the worst example of that. Like he is a wildlife expert in the way that the guy that carries a boa around his neck on Venice Beach is an expert. Like he's not. I had a guy come to my school. His name was Maynard Cox. He had altogether maybe 6 fingers if you put it together. He got bit by at least 10 rattlesnakes a year, and every year he came back with a little bit less of one of his fingers. But he was a great guy. He taught us so much. He's the reason I never liked chinchilla like furs. Like he's a great guy. Like he's a real wildlife enthusiast. So like I'm just really irritated with a lot of trends that are coming out of this whole thing. But I've also been arguing with my dad a lot, which is fun. We talk. I've been watching a lot of movies. And my dad has seen like every movie ever, but he also is completely incapable of discerning which parts of a movie plot to not share in order to ruin the movie. I like to play this game with him where I only talk about movies after I've seen them, but I'll be like, okay, Dad, like talk to me about Titanic, but don't ruin it for me. And he's like, okay, got it. So there's this guy, Jack, right? He dies now. Like, that's how fast he'll do it. Like, he's got some kind of like plot-based Asperger's that no one can figure out. It's so interesting. He did all like he has a gold tooth in the front of his mouth that all my friends have always thought was super cool. Like growing up, all my friends were like, oh my God, your dad has a gold tooth. That's so awesome. Like, that's so gangster. And gold tooths were just like what was cool when he was younger. Like, that's just what you had if you like didn't have a baby when you were 15 and you had enough discretionary income to make some mistakes. So like, so it's making me wonder how tramp stamps are gonna like pan out for people in the future. Like, I feel like at some point some kid will have friends over and like his mom will bend over to pick something up and they'll see like Brad's bitch across her back and be like, your mom's a G. Like, I'm hoping that those just turn around for everyone somehow. I did also argue with my dad about how long to cook a sweet potato in the microwave the other day. Now, I will say this, it's not my fault. I don't know if anyone else is lucky enough to have an old Black man in their life, but like old Black men love telling people what to do. It's like their favorite thing to do. There's like 2 million Black men over 60 in America right now. They're all telling someone what to do right now. Like, they're all just like pointing their finger at someone and starting a sentence with what you need to do is, and someone else is like rolling their eye. Like, they're the most ridiculous. Like, one time I saw my dad taking a nap at home and he had his eyes closed and was going like this. He was literally telling someone what to do in his sleep. It's like his favorite thing. I've been arguing with my grandma a lot too. Like, not really arguing, just like avoiding her, because her way of coping with this whole thing is to call me every 3 hours and ask me if I feel sick, which is really comforting. It's not really helping anyone. But she also, I feel like if you like your grandma, like, you don't talk to your grandma enough. Like, if you ask someone what they think of their grandma, and they're like, if you ask someone what they think of their grandma, and they're like, oh my God, I love her so much. Like, they never talk to her. Cause like, it's not fun having a real relationship with anyone over 70. Like, even if they're the best old person ever, I feel like even if they're the best old person ever, they still like think love is optional in a marriage and need to know what color everyone is in a story before they're invested. Like, I don't know. I'm so annoying. Like, every time I tell my grandma anything, I'll be like, oh my gosh, grandma, I was out with my friend the other day. What color is he? It literally doesn't matter. Like, that's it's fine. All right. But yeah, I don't know how to end this.
Yay! Katrina Davis, everybody. The tip jar is open. If you enjoyed Katrina's set, kick us in a Venmo, top right corner of the screen, or you can PayPal. You can do that at laughfromhome.com, or you can throw in a super chat. We appreciate your support. That is what keeps the show going. We've already had Amanda Dean threw in $20 tip for Katrina Davis and a bunch of clappy emojis and some happy faces as well. Some more are gonna come in as they go. So Rachel, do we have more? Have any more come in yet?
Yeah, so we've got some comments coming in. S. Jordan says best wishes, and then she said, I didn't know you were so hilarious, Katrina. I know your dad.
No.
Does he know that he's in your act?
Oh, damn.
Yes, he does. It's like his favorite thing ever to come to shows in Florida and like listen to jokes about himself. I think he really doesn't even get half of them. He's just happy if other people laugh. Like he's on board. It's fine.
Does after your set, does your dad come over and be like, what you need to do with your jokes is?
Oh no. I will tell you my dad's advice for like, I had a really bad set one night and he goes, why don't you just figure out the jokes that people think are funny and only do those jokes? Thanks, Dad. You solved comedy. What? That's my dad.
That is like a very targeted equivalent of the people being like, you should go on SNL.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll give Lauren a call.
Yes, because I go, Dad, that's the point, is sometimes they don't like the jokes that you think they're gonna like. And he was like, oh, that makes it harder. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, Ellen Shaw, a frequent supporter of the show, threw in $5 and says, Katrina, totally agree about the tiger asshole. I would rather watch an actual tiger's asshole than an animal hoarding jackass. One of my favorite things about the show.
Just imagine the sense of smell you would get back if you had a tiger's asshole in front of you. You'd probably cure any disease.
One of the things I love about the show is I love how supportive the community is of each other. Our regulars always say hi to each other in chat. Sometimes people super chat or Venmo on behalf of someone else who can't afford it, which is amazing. But I also love how funny some of you guys are. Like some of you guys make us genuinely laugh day after day, and we really appreciate that. So thank you. Rachel, I see we got more coming in. What do we got?
We do. So we've got Revel gave $5 and said that was awesome. Chris Jacobs gave $5 and said tips for Katrina, laughing from start to end.
Nice.
We had a comment from King's Caters. He said, laugh my ass off, Katrina. That was a great outro. 10 out of 10.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why you guys really enjoy Katrina's set is she figured out how to do the jokes that people will like. So that's,
yeah.
I have a question for Rafi. I know only just, I guess, a couple of years ago, how long has it been you've been doing stand-up in English? And what's the difference, in your opinion, from doing stand-up in Latin America versus here?
The difference basically is I don't speak the language. So like, I really think that what Katrina did was amazing, but I have to admit, I understood like 12% of what she said. I know she's great. And this is, I'm not even joking. This is like, it's stressed out. Like I'm waiting for, every time I'm going on stage, I'm watching other people. And it's very difficult for me to understand what they say. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to say because I have to write it, translate what I'm saying. But watch other people doing in English, it's kind of difficult. It's the same thing as you go into your fucking, I don't know, day job in an accountant business and everybody's talking like, I know what I'm going to do. This is like, the big challenge is understand and connect with people more than on stage, connect with people. Because when there's like 5 or 6 comedians talking at the same time, it's difficult. Not only because the language is difficult, it's because comedians in America, they all have huge problems. Let me tell you, I was in a group of guys the other day, okay? And one was saying, well, I have a drug addiction. The other one was like, I have an alcohol addiction. And I was the third one. And they asked me, what do you have? And I said, I have friends. So it's different. That's the problem.
Yes.
By the way,
that is
Rafi,
true. I find that a lot of comedians, at least here in America, a lot of people get into it. It doesn't even seem like they're always that funny or they want to make people laugh. They do it just as therapy. They're always like, I use the stage as my therapist. No, that's not the purpose. It's to make people laugh. If it happens to involve something from your life, fine, but don't go up there and just spill your problems without jokes.
And there's a lot of people, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a lot of people who actually use the stage as a therapy, and they're not funny at all. But people respect them because they are digging deep in something that is not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
I had a guy.
Dig deep, just make a joke. Fuck.
Exactly.
I had a guy once who was trying to get me to help him write jokes or whatever. I went to his house. Every idea had. Finally, I said, "Has anybody ever said you were funny?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "In your regular life, has anybody ever said you were funny? You should be a comedian?" He was like, "No." I go, "What made you think you wanted to do this?" He was like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Does this seem easier than guitar?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Oh.
By the way, I also want to say
having an alcohol problem. I don't know anybody that has an alcohol problem at the time.
I also want to say, by the way, that jacket is the first step of AA. Because it's admitting you have a problem. But Rafi, I will say, as someone who was, born here, English is my first language. I also have a lot of trouble watching some comedians. So I think it's a language barrier, just a heads up. Now that said, we do have some more tips coming in from Katrina for Katrina. On the Venmo, we've got Elizabeth Lofgren threw in $10, said, "Yeah, Katrina," with some emojis. We've got Becky Dale threw in 15, said, "Katrina, you're so funny," with a heart. And we've got Carla Scott threw in $10, says, "Katrina Davis, I think you must have met my 80-year-old parents." That is awesome. Tons of support coming in. Rachel, what else we got on the chats?
We have Selena Hampson gave $10 and said, "For the girls with the dads, what you ought to do is dads."
Nice.
We have Beetle Greg gave £2 and said, "Great set. I love sweet potatoes."
Yay!
Nice.
We had a comment from Willie Evans. He said, "Katrina, hilarious that I missed you and literally had to hop off a Zoom call for my dad to tell me what I need to do."
Nice.
Oh, I love a bunch of there's like friends on there from kindergarten. I love this.
That's so cool.
This is awesome.
What's so much fun about this kind of stuff is also like, think about how many people in your life are like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to go see a show if you ever come to St. Louis," and you're like, "But I've never gone to St. Louis." But this is a way that like literally you can put a show and then anyone can watch from anywhere in the world, and so you get a weird cross section of your friends and fans and family, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, all my friends who have babies that aren't allowed in clubs yet. Everybody, it's awesome.
When I was in high school, Katrina, I had an older black man in my life who would always tell me what to do. He was always like, "Be on time, have discipline, run tighter routes, catch the ball. You're a terrible athlete." He was the football coach. I did not appreciate it.
No, that's way better.
I actually had a similar thing, but it was Bagger Vance. So
my dad will coach. My dad basically just coaches my whole life that way. Like he'll call me and I'll be like, "Hey dad, what's up?" And he'll go, "Do you have enough windshield wiper fluid in your car?" And I'll be like, "I don't know." And he'll just hang up. Like that's like easy, crazy. He's just like always ready with advice.
That's awesome. Also, we just had another come in from the fabulous Z Bunster, who always supports the show so much. $20. Katrina loved the grandma bit. So that is awesome. And
thank
Rachel,
you, Z.
Do we have any more, Rachel, before we go to our next comic?
And just a lot of game entries are coming in, or contest entries.
Awesome. So
Yay,
let's restate the game real quick. It's basically a bad lie for someone about why they were late. Did I get that correct, Bowers?
The most outrageous lie you've heard while someone was late or not there. Katrina, can you plug your stuff for us? Katrina, can you plug your stuff for us, where we can find it?
Yeah. You can find me on like Instagram, Twitter, my website. Everything is Katrina Savad, and it's SIVAD, but it's just Davis backwards because there's a billion of us, and you can see stand up and shows, and you can log on to watch Everything Is Fine instead of just listen to it. But yeah, everything's there. Thanks, y'all.
Awesome.
Thanks, Katrina.
One more time, Katrina. Thanks so much,
Katrina Davis, everybody.
Davis.
Awesome.
Excellent,
All right,
thank you.
we're going to introduce our next comic again. $5 in the super chat if you want to be part, or the Venmo or the PayPal if you want to be part of the game. The most outrageous lie you've ever heard for someone being late or not showing up to something. I'm going to introduce our next comic. This guy is also a very great friend of mine. Known him for years and years. Actually bought him a shirt that had his name on it once for St. Patrick's Day. He was on Laughs on Fox, and he also won our contest award called Trial by Laughter a few years ago. Here for the very funny Mitch Burrow, everybody. Get Mitch Burrow.
Yay!
Hey. Thank you for having me. I just want to thank everyone tipping in advance. I haven't filed taxes in the last 5 years, so I'm probably not going to get that stimulus check. Everything helps. I appreciate it. It's very fun doing stand-up comedy. One of the hardest parts for me is just making people take me seriously. I have a Southern accent, so it's not really an accent that people give a lot of respect to. You know, like no one's ever heard me talk and then been like, I wonder what that guy's thoughts on Iran are. You know, that doesn't happen. It's also like the last accent that it's okay to make fun of. And that it makes me very sensitive to that. No matter what the accent is, if I hear people picking on an accent, I get upset, you know, like the other day I was in the grocery store and I heard these two guys behind me making fun of the Chinese accents. And I was like, not on my watch. That ain't going to happen. So I turned around to let them know. I was like, hey, I need to cut that shit out. And it was just two Chinese dudes talking to each other. So I was very embarrassed. I was like, my bad. Like I'm an idiot, but my heart's in the right place, you know? I should have been able to tell it was genuine. I lived in Asia for 3 years. I should have been able to be like, oh yeah, that's a real one, you know, because I was over there. I went all over Asia, Thailand, Singapore, Japan, China. There's like a bunch of different types of Asian. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's not just one. It's a very diverse area. And if you know someone that's Asian and you want to know what kind of Asian they are, you can't. You're not allowed to find out. And you might be like, but what if I just want to like know about their culture? Well, to that, I'm going to say you just got to wonder, okay? You can't know. And if you would ever be like, but why can't I ask? Why can't I ask somebody what kind of Asian they are? I actually found out back before I did stand-up full-time, I was a handyman. And two of my clients were an Asian couple. And one day I was working in their house, and on the table, I saw an ancestry DNA test. And I was like, oh, that's why they don't want you to ask, because they don't even know sometimes. Of course they're going to be upset. They're going to be like, what? I had to pay $99 to find out. I'm not telling you for free. You got to chip in on this, you know? When I lived in Asia, I actually I had sex with a lot of Asian women. It wasn't like a fetish or anything, just kind of what was available at the time. It was a numbers game, really, when you think about it. And a friend of mine found out that I had sex with a lot of Asian women, and he got really excited. He was like, dude, I love Asian women. I want to hook up with more Asian women. What's the secret? And I was like, well, I moved to Asia. I don't know what you're willing to commit to this. I had to join the Marine Corps, go to war, and get stationed overseas. And it was worth it. Asian pussy's great. It was top 5 types of pussy, really. And I say top 5 because as far as I know, there's really only 5 types, and I don't want to leave anybody out. You all got good pussy. I just want you to know that. It's all great. I miss it so much. I haven't had sex in forever, and that's not just because of the quarantine. Once I got out of the Marine Corps and I gained weight, my numbers went down, you know? Not all my numbers, cholesterol through the roof. That's the numbers But I really miss sex. And what bothers me the most is that as a comedian, I'm not really famous, but I'm friends with really famous people. I'm on shows with them all the time, and they take it for granted. You know, like I was with this one dude. we were backstage and he was complaining. It's like, dude, I was having sex with this chick the other night. And she just laid there. She just laid there the whole time. It sucked. And I was like, really? That's what upset you? That she was there? You didn't like that? I don't really think you're appreciating the situation for what it is. Also, me personally, when I do get the chance to have someone there, I don't like it when they move around a lot. It makes me think they're trying to get away. So, you know. Everybody, thank you for everything. All right.
Everybody, Mitch
I've never
Burrow.
done in my life.
Mitch Burrow, absolutely hilarious comedian. Tip jar is open. If you want to Venmo, top right of the screen, you can PayPal at laughfromhome.com, or you can throw in a super chat. I know some stuff is already coming in. Mitch, by the way, is the comedian that I shared that clip, the hilarious Marine clip, which has gotten how many millions of views is that up to, Mitch?
Oh, we're over 7 million on that one. Yeah, it's up there.
7
It's probably the
million
greatest
views.
thing I've ever done.
Yeah, that was it's a hell of a funny clip. It's a lot of fun. And that also showed me, by the way, this is something you could learn just how much climbers some comedians are. So I went to go visit Mitch at the Comedy Store, and while I'm waiting, one of the guys who works the door, who's also an aspiring comedian, he's kind of like giving me shit about like not really being welcoming to me at all. And I'm like, come on, man, I'm a comic, I work here. And like he's kind of being a dick. And then Mitch comes over and sees me and goes, oh, hey, this is the guy I told you about that shared that video that got millions of views. And immediately the guy was like, oh, hey, man, come on in. So happy to meet you.
Yeah, we're the worst. We
Ridiculous.
are definitely the worst types of people, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do something for me? You're great. I appreciate you for everything that you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And try owning a comedy club for a while and then not. See how many friends you have. It's actually refreshing to know who your real friends are, which Mitch is one. Mitch stayed my friend even though I didn't own a comedy club, and I appreciate that. So thank
Well,
you.
I believe in you. I'm sure you will open another comedy club ours.
Wait a minute. Morty's closed?
Yeah.
I just thought you guys stopped booking me.
Oh, that's my fault. I just rewound Ben. My apologies. So,
I can't smell anything.
Rachel, what? Oh, we went back a day. Rachel, what do you got?
So we have Denise Cook had a question. She's like, Rachel, is his name Mitch Burrow or Mitch Murrow? So.
Mitch Burrow.
Mitch
No, I know.
Murrow. Mitch Burrow is my handle on all the social media stuff, because they called me that in middle school, and I'm like a girl that has sex a lot and calls herself a whore. Like I'm taking control of it, you know. Like you can't hold me down.
You're like, I'm gonna call myself bitch before you do.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Does it slow people down or does it just encourage them?
Yeah. It's a very sensitive subject.
It's like making fat jokes about yourself, Mitch. I get it. If we call ourselves fat, then people go, well, as long as he knows, then we won't make fun of him for being fat. I get it.
Yeah,
Not
the worst part is my first name is David. I could have just been David, but my mom was like, that's not gonna make him be a comedian one day. We got to make his life harder. So
I guess that's good advice. I should probably start doing handsome jokes.
Well, now that you've fixed your fucking hair. So, by the way, speaking of those jokes, Christopher Capo threw in $10 in the Venmo and says, as a fellow fat boy, I get the numbers game, Mitch. So much appreciated for the tip. What else we got coming in, Rich?
But Revel gave $5. And then Elizabeth Weinrub has a comment. She said, Mitch looked hot.
Hey, what's up?
Well,
Nice,
let me tell you just one thing, Mitch. If Disney ever wanted to do a live action movie, a version of Kung Fu Panda, you use that fucking clothes, okay? That's exactly the clothes that you wear. That's the face, that's the body, and that's the shirt.
Also, because it's Disney, they probably would cast a white guy as Kung Fu Panda.
No, they wouldn't. Wasn't it already Jack Black? I thought Jack Black was Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, that's true. The voice of,
They already cast a white dude as Kung Fu Panda.
I cannot wait until Jack Black dies. My career is going to go straight to the top.
You don't need him to die. You just need him to turn like 60. You know, you just need him to get too old.
50.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a pretty good point. So Mitch is just encouraging people to like lick Jack Black right now, just hoping that he might catch it. So Rach, what else we got?
So we've got Jeremy Day giving $5. Mitch was hilarious. Great set.
Thank you.
A lot. Who was it that said about the? Oh, here it is. Monica Nevi said, "Please donate to Mitch so he can get a different robe."
Monica Nevi is my best friend. She lives in Seattle, Washington. So shout out to her. She's Monica. You're great.
She's a hilarious comedian that we're gonna have on this show as well. And by the way, Mitch, I gotta say, I love that on the same episode, Katrina was just like, finally, I have an excuse to put on lipstick and wear contacts. And Mitch is like, I'm gonna get my best bathrobe.
This is absolutely the most comfortable I've ever been performing. Also, I just want Winklepad to give me a dab. I saw she did that for somebody. Hell yeah, there we go.
Nice. We love our audience. You guys are the best. We got a couple more things coming in. Summer generals. Well, first, late one for Katrina. We got $5 from Elise Parks. Says, Katrina, we love you. And then we have a big old one that came in. Christopher Fleischer threw in $100 and says, for the Martin Grant, I've been watching every show, just got paid the first, fortunate to have military retirement, VA disability monthly to help through this, and I want to help. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you, sir.
That is great. We are indirectly applauding the troops right now.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
The Martin Grant, that's just a really awesome thing, man. I want to, from every comedian that has worked with you in the past, I just want to say thank you. That is an amazing thing that you've started. I think it's been like four or 5 years now that you've been helping working comedians out.
This is the 6th year now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Saying that does not make you more likely to win the Martin Grant.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
Ben's like,
by the way, you know what also doesn't make
I haven't gotten the Martin Grant.
Yeah. Well, you know what also doesn't make you more likely to win the Martin Grant? Sending me an email with 5 megabyte of attached bills that you have to pay. That doesn't just came in. So that doesn't really help. You could just submit like everybody else does, like a mature professional.
I mean, that does make it sound like you're implying I was the one that sent you all my bills.
No. It was not Mitch. It was not Mitch. I'm saying a different person did that just now. Yeah, Mitch's were not 5 meg. They were much bigger.
I think that's just how you declare bankruptcy.
Yeah. That's what it is. It actually says it in the tax code. It says send Steve an email. And yeah, and then he'll file the paperwork for you.
Mitch, your robe reminds me one time at Morty's with this bigger guy cook. He cooked in the kitchen. He showed up one day in a just a tank top, and Tony, the owner, was like, "You can't work in a tank top, man." The kid was like, "Oh, sorry, I just came back from a graduation." I was like, "Oh, graduation." I go, "Is that your best tank top?" And he looks at me real quick and he goes, "No, this is not my best tank top," without any irony.
Yeah, he was coming from a graduation, not a wedding. Come on.
I also, by the way, I once went into a store in rural Florida, and I was just wearing, I was just dressed decent, nice pair of jeans, button shirt, and the clerk just goes, "Coming from a wedding?" I was like, "What?"
Well, yeah, you had a button shirt on.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I had a shirt on. That was enough. I was like, is there a wedding around here? And she's like, no, you're just all dressed up. I'm like, no, this is just Well, you know what? Never mind. Here's $5. Here you go.
That's
Rafi.
exactly how like people try and start fights in the South with you. They'll just be like, "Oh, you think you better than me?" And then you, yeah, dude,
So-
you live in a single wide trailer. I live in a double wide. This is twice as good.
I'm curious in Brazil, Rafi, since clearly I have the mistaken impression everybody walks around with thongs and feathers on their head. Do people dress normal? What's the typical attire during a regular life in Brazil?
That's the shittiest question I ever got in my whole life.
Guys wear shirts.
Can I take a guess?
Do you wear shirts? Do you wear pants?
Ben, we use shirts and pants. Is that an okay answer to you? What were you expecting? Yeah, we dress as like monkeys. What?
You mean you don't wear like I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but you know the guy who wears bones as armor?
Robbie, I want to apologize. Apparently, Ben got my script for this episode. Sorry about that.
y'all fellas wear shoes. Y'all fellas wear shoes down there.
Has everybody really got them big old butts down there, man? That's crazy.
Follow-up question, Rafi. What kind of Asian are you?
South. Oh my God. Rafi, we're so glad that you were willing to do this one specific time. And
My friend, I'm you know what? It's so good. It's so good. Eh? The thing is, the problem with me is not that there's a lot of jokes to make about Brazil. The problem with me living in America, that's being a little hard for me. Because let me just tell you one thing, because I was talking about the language. I had recently one of the most challenging experience of my life, which was have sex and speak English at the same time. It's fucking impossible. So I have to
Switching.
I have to focus on one activity. It's too much.
I don't know.
I have to choose, do I keep a good erection or a good pronunciation? Because it's different.
Coffee, as a female, I don't think we want you to speak English.
Yo, Rachel is super right.
I usually have the opposite problem. I start talking and women are like, I'm going to dry up if you say one more word. So.
It's got to be hard, though, for Rafi adjusting from having women call him Poppy to Daddy. That's got to be difficult.
When I have sex, my tongue is always busy, so I can't talk even when I'm having sex.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The problem was when she said she was like, I'm coming, and I said, coming where? Here. Am I fucking a ghost? What's going on?
What happened was it's difficult for Rafi because he has to adjust from Latin women calling him Poppy to white women calling him Poppy.
Also,
well, one orgasm American's like 10 orgasms Brazilian, I think, whatever they're currency.
What's the currency on orgasms?
Also, I think by what Bowers just said about his tongue always being busy when having sex, I think not only does he not eat fruit or vegetables, I think we've just learned he's never actually had sex before.
Oh, what we've learned is that he has sex while eating frozen pizza.
That's really what it is. That's why my tongue.
Bowers exclusively has sex doggy style, just so there's a table.
You should just, that's the end of the show. That's the line of the day for sure.
Thank you.
Also, that is an image that's been scorched into my brain, and I'll never be able to get that out of there.
I like it. Plus, because they hold more food.
Mitch, what'd you do that for?
The camera was going to everybody changed to me.
Mitch,
What did he do?
Mitch,
I was
Mitch
already there.
just fucked up the monetization in this video.
Yeah.
Wait,
Sorry.
The way Katrina just said I was already there, Rafi just went, where?
all right, I got it. I like big butts because they hold more food. All right.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go to the super chat and the Venmo. Why don't we do that? Let's save us from this. So we have Z Bunster threw in another $10, says it's for Mitch. Much appreciated doing that. And then Rachel, what do we got?
We've got Beetle Greg, 2 pounds for Mitch. Nice one. Stay Southern. We've got Bo Lockwood, $10 for Mitch from another vet. Also, we had a guy not show up to work because his rabbit was sick. Okay, so that he did a twofer. Yeah. We have Native Edge, $5. Mitch needs to stop using the same handle on everything. Pornhub handle should be hidden. Stay awesome. Love this.
Steve Hofstetter on Pornhub. Oh, that's a good one.
We have Chris Jacobs, tips $5 for Mitch. And then we've got quite a few general ones, if you want me to go through those.
Let's do some generals before we do the contest.
Okay, so we've got Richard Earl Deary, $20. When your tickets go on sale on StubHub, Steve, I'm going to buy tickets for my friends and I.
Well, thank you. Also, if you want to see me do a full live show, you can go to nowherecomedyclub.com. I'm doing 3 shows this Monday and another show the following week, accommodating different time zones for around the world. We have one at 11 a.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m. Pacific. Someone replied to the status and said, I can't, I'm working then. And I was like, all of them? But anyway, yeah, you could see me do a full live set. And also, unannounced yet, but on this show, I'm going to try that out Sunday. I'm going to do my first set on this show. So, Sunday, come back. Make sure you're watching Sunday because I'm going to be doing stand-up.
Yay!
Love that. Love
what else
that.
we got?
And I will be heckling moments into his set.
I knew it was a plant.
You can say, comedian teases heckler on sense of smell.
Comedian destroys Ben Gleib.
Yeah. Comedian destroys presidential candidate. What else we got?
Wouldn't be the first time. Hi, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So we have Funny and Fearless, $5. Steve, you've come a long way with the live stream since the first show. Can you explain what software do you recommend? Zoom, OBS, Caster, etc. Thanks. All of those.
That's a long explanation for this. It's a combination of a lot of things, and it's very, very difficult to do all at once. But that it's too technical for the broadcast.
Kind of like speaking English and fucking, apparently.
Yeah. What I recommend you do is you study up more on the language first. So what else? What else we got?
We have Jennifer Kofid gave $5 on behalf of another member, Paul Anam, from Scotland. He wanted to say, keep doing what you're doing.
That's awesome.
Very
Thank
cool.
you so much for doing that. I love when the community does that and chips in for each other. That's so cool.
We have the big man metal detecting sent £5 and said, why isn't anybody tipping Queen Rachel? She's doing an amazing job. Steve, your Glasgow security is available when you want it.
Yeah.
By the way, I looked through the chat. I don't think anyone wrote that. That was
That came from Rock Hard Rachel, strangely.
I'm gonna turn red.
no. We absolutely. If people want to throw in tips for anyone who's there, hell, tip the audience if you want.
We have Janet Lausen gave $20 and said funny. Chris Jacobs, $5 tips for Rafi. Leo Kuna, $2 and said he probably had great pronunciation though.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And then the last one, Carrie actually, $50, but it was from her mom. It says, Steve, I logged into my daughter's account. She said she's sorry for missing the live feed as she's in the hospital, but she'll see you in the rest of the wonderful comics tomorrow. God bless and much love.
What's her name? Carrie, you said?
Yeah, Carrie.
Carrie.
She's been in our audience a bunch. She's great.
Yeah, Carrie, please get well soon. We very much appreciate the tip. Thank you very much for doing that.
Carrie, heal up. We're all thinking about you.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have $5 came in from Megan Smith for Mitch. So thank you for that. And I think we have I think it's time for the contest. We're doing the contest now. So you want a last minute entry?
For me.
Wait. There was one that I saw, by the way. Did you see the thing about the person who tried to see me years ago? Did you see that one?
No.
There's hold on. I saw that one. I'll scroll up. I'll find it. That was a general one. I think it said $22. Yeah, Greg Smith. Greg Smith threw in $22, says, I spent this 3 years ago on tickets to the Steve Hofstetter show in Portland and set a reminder on my phone accidentally for 1 month after the show. We went 1 month late. My wife still considers me an idiot, and this is for her. So, I don't know if that's a game entry or not, because it's not an excuse. Yeah, it's not an excuse as much as just a thing that it's not a lie. It's just a thing that happened.
That reminds me
we love it.
We were talking about Morty's calls last week. One of my favorite Morty's calls was this lady called one time, and she goes, yeah, my husband was supposed to call and make a reservation for Saturday for 10. I wanted to call and make sure he did that. And I'm like, okay, either this woman's terrible or this dude's a fucking idiot. And so when I was on the phone at my house, I would just pretend I was at the computer. I'm like, oh yeah, you're here, you're good. I was guy code. Oh, you did it. And then on the way to the club, I'm like, I hope he's not an idiot. I was rooting for him the whole way, and he made the reservation, so it was her, not him that time. But usually the husband's the idiot I get. But
nice. By the way, don't pick your legs up too much. We just saw the shorts. So that said, let's take some non-paid entries first. Let's take just some comments and see what kind of excuses we got.
Yeah.
Remind
So
people of the question real quick. It is the big. How do you phrase it, Rachel?
The most outrageous excuse you've ever heard for someone being late or absent.
Got it.
Yeah. And by the way, Taylor, our tech guy, recommends that Mitch give that Teen Choice Award to Bowers for kissing. His mouth is always full, apparently. So, yeah. By the way, it's very clear now that that Mitch and Dave Waite and Grant Lyon are all roommates because their background all looks the same. So,
hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much. My roommates moved; they're in the kitchen, so it's time to make dinner. I just shout out to everyone that tipped, and then just for you guys for putting this on. Thank you so much.
How do we find you, Mitch? How do we find you?
I am at Mitch Burrow on Twitter, on Instagram, Mitch_Burrow on Venmo. What's up? And then Mitch Burrow on Facebook. So just spell my name right, and you'll find it. BURROW.
Yeah, and it's also great. It's great to hear that you guys have a kitchen. I thought your apartment only had one damn corner.
Well, that's what we call the microwave. The microwave, that's the kitchen. So, it's nice.
And they can't eat till they can use the surfboard for a coffee table. So that's why
I can't wait, by the way, to have the other. I can't wait to have the other 8 comics. I can't wait to have the other 8 comics who live with you on the show, by the way. I'm looking forward to that.
They're all very eager and ready to do it.
Yeah. I'm just glad that you guys are using the surfboard as a coffee table and not Mitch's back.
All right, Mitch Burrow, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, and actually, before we do the contest, I realized we should go to our front row. If the front row has any questions, you can throw into the chat, or you can do the little raise hand icon. We also have like I said, we do have the pregnant boy story in the front row. Just real quick, can I ask? So, Endless DMG is the pregnant boy. Can I ask you real quick? Did you have any? And by the way, if anyone hadn't seen that episode, his parents told him that he was gaining weight because he was pregnant when he was 4 years old. Is that right?
8. More like 8
years old.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, from 4 to 8.
No, from 8 to 12, which is
8 to
actually worse.
12.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 4 years. So from 8 to 12. Oh, holy shit! This is way worse than I thought it was. So at 12, did you go through like a sex education class, or like how did you?
Here's the thing: we don't have those in Bulgaria, which is that was nice.
So how did you find out that this was a lie?
Well, I kept waiting for the baby and it just never arrived. So I was like, hey, maybe I'm not pregnant. You know? I mean, I couldn't really ask anyone, could I?
You were like ashamed of, it's like, where do babies come from? Lies, mainly? Lies. Well, we appreciate you sharing your story with us. It was a wonderful story, and it won the contest. And we love having you here. And if there's anyone else in the if there's anyone in the chat that has a question, throw it in. But meanwhile, let's go to the game.
Oh, so these are the non-paid participants. We have 9 entries besides these.
Awesome.
So we've got a lot of stuff going on. So we've got Ashley said, my boyfriend at the time ghosted me around our 1-year anniversary because he was in jail for a week, but nothing else ever occurred after that.
So he just said he was in jail. That's a hell of an excuse. I'm in jail.
As someone that has had a boyfriend in jail, there's definitely follow-up. I'm just saying.
That's actually the excuse that keeps on giving then, because after you get out of jail, you'd be like, oh, sorry, I gotta see my probation
For real,
officer.
dude, you got like at least 3 court dates. Like, come on, get it together.
That's a forward-thinking excuse right there.
Yeah, like make the lie work for you, dude.
Yeah. What else we got?
Amin Salah, a close friend, has always been late to the hospital. One day she called in and said, sorry, I can't come in. I'm not feeling well. And the RN manager said, well, you need to come in anyways. And she said, well, I guess I'm coming in drunk then.
Oh, holy shit. You just broke Rachel with that comment. That's amazing.
This is why I don't read these beforehand.
You're going to have the genuine reactions.
Yeah.
What else? Is that a submission, or was that just a...
No.
That's just a comment. All right, cool.
I think twice. So they're letting other people win. So I've got paid submissions now for entries.
All right, paid submissions. Let's go. These are let's pay attention. And by the way, for the first time, what we're going to do is we're also going to let the audience vote as well. So pay attention and pick your favorites.
So we've got Helena Sutherland. My aunt was late for work because a bear fell asleep on her car.
Does she mean like a bear, or like a large gay man?
Either way, you don't want to poke it. Like, you want to wait for it to wake up.
Yeah, if it's a gay guy or a bear, you don't want to poke it. Either way.
Yeah. All right, solid. That's a solid one. What else we got?
Deanie McQueen. A girl called into work because someone stole her favorite bong, and she couldn't work that day because she was in mourning.
Oh my God. I don't think that one's a lie at all.
No.
we didn't say it was a lie, Steve. It's outrageous excuse.
Oh, okay, outrageous excuse,
it's
right?
Outrageous
right.
excuse. That counts as outrageous excuse for sure.
That counts for sure.
Oh. Dora Wooster showed up 15 minutes late for work because he forgot to pee before he left for work. He lives 5 minutes from the office.
Oh my God.
This is the greatest game ever. A Cougar's cub. My just hired dishwasher said he needed to take the SAT test on Valentine's Day. Turns out he was just playing Fortnite.
So, that's sad. That's really sad, because it's like, oh no, I have to take the SAT test, and you're like, I get it, you have a date, and it's like, actually no.
Oh shit, that has layers.
What else we got?
The next one, I think she also gave on PayPal. Her name's Dakota Riesinger. It's kind of long. I haven't read it, but she did it in a couple different chunks. But she basically said this one time last summer, I was supposed to go hang out with my friends and they were late by 30 minutes. And they said, yeah, we're running a bit late. We'll be there soon. 2 hours later, I was still waiting at home. And they were like, oh, dude, we drove right past your house, but one of us had to go. And then that's where it cut off.
I'm so confused. All right. I do not see it on PayPal, actually. I don't see it come in. So.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
that one's a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Tune in next episode. What else? What else do we have?
Zara B. A student arrived 30 minutes late to my class. Sorry, I'm late. I got stuck in my girlfriend's piercing. I pointed to his girlfriend and asked, "Why? And when did she fail to tell you? Because she changed classes to this one. I think you two need to talk."
Oh, holy shit. And then the guy was like, no, my other girlfriend.
That one's good.
3 more, it looks like. Elizabeth Ann. I'm a degenerate. I just woke up. That was the text message I got 24 hours after the date was supposed to occur. He was an open mic comedian that would always run the light. Go figure.
Oh my God.
Which means she went to an open mic to see him. Oh my God.
More than once.
Yeah, she knows where the light was. They dated for 3 months for sure.
Phrase "run the light" is not. Yeah, that's not.
That's not standard regular people vocabulary. That's somebody.
Yeah, that's lingo right there.
We've got Jeremy Day. One of my former coworkers was out of town, called in claiming to be sick. The owner of the store saw them later that day in a restaurant.
Nice.
And then Jake M. I don't get this one. Sorry I was late. I didn't know. Oh, sorry I was late. I didn't know you were coming.
The reference to what Rafi was saying before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got some really good ones here.
Or do you think she meant her period? Sorry I was late. I didn't know you were coming.
Like that's the excuse from her period. So,
yes.
Wow, he really hasn't had sex. We can't control that.
By the way, Katrina, on the updated issue of a model that Bowers has ordered, they actually can.
I had it delivered to Ben Gleib's house, but then the pandemic happened. I can't get over there and get it. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know you've been lonely, Bowers. That's why I sent you a box of new hot dogs.
Thank you. I'll eat most of them.
All right, so we've got a bunch of really great ones. Vote in the comments. What was your favorite excuse? There were some really wonderful ones. So thank you everybody who participated in the game. It's really awesome. While people are throwing their votes in, a couple generals came in. Tyler Stevens threw in $5 on the Venmo. Says thanks for the laughs. And then we've got a $10 Venmo for Katrina Davis from Gloria Davis. Now it could be a coincidence in name, but is that your mom?
My freaking mom!
Yeah. That is
awesome.
awesome.
Somebody, thanks, Mom.
I like how the sun lit you up the minute your mom gave you money. Look at that. It changed the whole world.
It's the joy of a mother's love and $10.
Yeah, that's. She's like, here's $10. Get a curtain. So, all right. With that, we got to vote on these.
We have live audience too.
Oh yeah, does any live audience have any that you want to participate in?
Let's see.
We got some live audience voting.
I do.
Something got one?
Who's
I do right here.
Just
all right. Endless DMG. Throw it in.
Yeah, I got a story from my childhood. Yeah, we were at school and my friend walked in and the teacher was like, "Hey, why are you late?" And he was like, "My toaster was on fire." And we were like, "What?" And apparently he was making toast and it literally combusted. And he showed us pictures, like half the kitchen was burnt.
It was actually
his toaster was on fire, actually.
Yeah, and you're like, "I can't believe you're late. Your toaster was on fire. I'm here on time and I'm pregnant." So,
Oh my goodness. For years.
I'm sorry, man. It's such a good story. It's such a good story. All right, so
We had a last minute one come in too.
oh, last minute. What do we got?
Buffalo Beskies. I used to see patients at a methadone clinic. One guy came in 2 hours late and said, "I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm having diarrhea, bed bugs, ticks, and MRSA." I said, "Well, damn, take a seat."
That holy shit. That's a lot. All right, we've got some really wonderful ones here. So all right, we got some votes coming in on the chat. But meanwhile, comics. So Katrina's still with us. We got Rafi still with us too. So what were your favorites?
Oh wait, I don't know when the paid options start. Is Bear an option?
Bear was the first paid one. Yeah, the
Yep.
Bear one was an option.
I think I'm gonna pick Bear.
Yeah, the Bear Asleep that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Rafi, what do you got?
I agree with her. It was the best one.
Yeah, with the bear, because that's also
Yes.
that might be the one in all of this that I would know the lead. Like, look, if my toaster was on fire, I would know how to put it out. If a bear was asleep on my car, I would just be like, all right, well, I guess I'm going Uber.
That's what I mean. Like, that's a whole situation. Like,
yeah, that's one that's gonna last. Now, Bowers, what's your vote?
Well, first I just realized that, and I don't know if you guys know this, but really cheap sport coats don't have the pockets on the side. That happens a lot. I just realized this one doesn't have a pocket, but it does have a flap that goes nowhere. So if you didn't think this was a piece of shit before, it's got a nowhere flap, which I think is hilarious. There's a flap that doesn't. Anyway, I'm going with Bear. Bear is my vote.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know about the jacket before the vote. So the vote does count more now. So we've also, all right, 3 for Bear. Gleib, what do you got?
I liked a lot of these entries. Living in LA, I always think it's funny when people use as an excuse traffic, just because how do you not expect that? I like when people, I like the Bear one, Bear asleep on your car, although we do know that it was covered probably by Farmers Insurance because they know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two. But I think my vote, because I dated a girl once who during our 3 weeks dating had every excuse possible for all the time being late for dates, for not showing up. One time we were on the phone and all of a sudden she just hung up, and the next day she was like, "Oh, sorry, I dropped my phone off a balcony." She lives on the 9th floor. I mean, that's the most obvious lie. She's back on the phone already. So I'm voting just straight up for I'm a degenerate. I just woke up 24 hours after a date. That's just, these people that think these are valid excuses. You're just being an asshole and it should be punished.
I do appreciate the honor in that one.
Yeah. I also like that it was like that he was also late in his set as well. That was also the open mic comic that did too much time. That's great. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm late. I was sleeping for 24 hours straight. By the way, before I put my vote in, Jan Johnson just threw in $20 on the PayPal. Much appreciated. Thank you for the support. That's just a general one. I would say my favorite one was the person mourning for their bong, because that is the most ridiculous one, but also the most honest. Like, that is someone who's just saying that, like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't get my shit together today. I suffered a devastating loss. And look, we've all been there. You know, I've lost a parent. You know, I know how it is sometimes when you lose something close to you. And to that person, that was the same thing.
And especially like the way stoners love bongs, I feel like that girl was just like, dude, I can't come in. We lost Ali Bong today. Like, they love, like, you have such a special relationship with your bong. I feel for her so much. Like, thoughts and prayers for real.
Absolutely. What did Rachel? What's the consensus on the chats?
So it's like a lot of people are loving the bear falling asleep on the car. The coming into work drunk is not an entry, but I agree with them. Girlfriend's piercing. is a close.
Yeah, Girlfriend's
too,
Piercing
but-
was also a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Especially because it failed spectacularly.
Right.
I did see a lot of the bear comments, so yeah.
Yeah. By the way, so Dave Eisner just Venmo'd $5 and says they don't not have pockets. Blazer pockets are always sewn shut. Got to open them yourself. Actually, what Bowers was showing, blazer pockets are sewn shut. There's not an actual pocket there. It's a fake pocket with a flap. But for that jacket, that makes sense because no one who owns that jacket would have any possessions. So why do you need a pocket? That said, it looks
Imagine no possession.
Yeah, yeah. Bowers took it seriously. It looks like the bear won. We got the bear. Wasn't my choice. Was a great story. Would have been my second place. So many wonderful submissions on this one. This was a great game. We love playing these. We'll play another one tomorrow. But congratulations to whoever the bear one was. Rachel will be in touch and we'll get you all the albums and a ticket to a future show. So much appreciated on that. I hope the car is okay. That said,
We've
Rafi
got a couple
Bastos.
generals.
Oh, we got a couple generals. Okay, let's do
Yeah,
some generals
so-
quick before we wrap up.
Perfect. So we've got Katie Weiner gave $20 and said, just thanks for the laugh during this weird time. A Cougars Cubs, $5. Steve, like checking on the dog shelters. Like, do you know how any of the dog shelters are doing? We can't forget our best friends.
Absolutely true. And now is a wonderful time to adopt if you're looking to adopt. You are going to be home for the next 2 months with plenty of time to bond with a dog. So.
And then the last one, we just had a live audience. Jen just kind of wanted to give a shout out.
What do we got, Jen? What's happening?
Is she on there? Did she drop off?
I don't see anyone named Jen in the live.
It's Winklepad.
Oh, it's Winklepad.
Hi, can you hear me?
Winklepad.
Yeah.
There
Yes,
we go.
we can
Now
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. One, I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here every day. It's like it's a schedule for me to have now. Also, you make me laugh. And thank you, Kira. It's Kira. I think it's Kira M. For donating my spot on the front line today. This was awesome. And I'm very, very sorry you're in the hospital. But I love you guys. You are all so amazing. Chris Bowers, I think I have a better sweater than your suit today. I'll show that tomorrow. So game up.
Well, thank you, and thanks for dabbing
Mitch.
for us. We
Dabs.
appreciate that. Thanks for the dabs. Richard, are we caught up?
We're caught up.
All right,
Also,
we got one
Winklepad-
more.
Winklepad, I'm so glad that you survived the dog attack earlier in the episode. To the end.
So we also have one last minute one from Ellen Shaw, threw in $5 and said free. I'm assuming that is a reference to that we're providing free entertainment, which she just paid $5 for. So that's ironic, but we do appreciate your support because your support allows us to keep this free. So thank you much for doing that. Rafi Bastos, tell the people more where they can find it about you. Does your Twitter have room for more followers? How does that work?
No, I have an Instagram in English now. I'm just starting to put some clips there. So my Instagram is at Rafi Comedy. So just follow me at Rafi Comedy. And I just want to say, is Katrina there? Are you still there,
Yeah.
Katrina?
Hi.
Let me see you.
I can't control that.
Because this thing started. Oh, look at this. This thing started with like a lot of sun in your face.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of shadow. So Godzilla is in your window and nobody's talking about it. So I don't know what's happening. So thank you. It was awesome. Ben, thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank all the guys. It was a pleasure to participate.
Of course. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so
You
much
are
for being here.
wonderful.
Follow at Rafi Comedy, the new English Instagram. We love it. Thank you for being with us all the
Thank
way
you,
in
my
Brazil,
friend.
man. That's super
Thank you,
cool.
brother.
Absolutely, Rafi. Thanks. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Thank you much.
Thank you.
All right. So now let's do some host plugs. Bowers, what do you got?
Just at Bowers Comedy, like always. My album pre-saled last Friday. Unpopular Opinions, iTunes, and Amazon. And then Ryan McManus was on today at MCMANSIS. They have a great show called Social Distancing, the Social Distancing Club on, not the club, the Social Distancing Show on YouTube. So just search Ryan McManus. They've got 5 episodes that are really funny. They do them about every other day. They're really good. Check those out.
Awesome. Ben Gleib.
As far as personal plugs, please tune in this Saturday, tomorrow, to Laugh Aid, which, much like this show, is also benefiting through Comedy Gives Back comedians who've lost their income. I'm really honored to be a part of it. I'll be on the hour hosted by Patton Oswalt. I've got some amazing celebrity cameos during my 5-minute segment video I've been working on pretty hard. It's just finished. Please watch my hour special, Neurotic Gangster, on YouTube or Amazon Prime if you care to, and follow me on YouTube at /BGleib or Instagram and Twitter at Ben Gleib. And to all of you watching every day, just thank you so much for being here with us. I think the quarantine, without a doubt, would be 100 times worse if we didn't have this show. Every day we get to laugh for 90 minutes, and it really makes me feel like normal life is still possible. So thank you all for supporting us. It's been incredible. Isolation Nation, we are alone, but we're alone together. So keep tuning in.
Absolutely.
That's right, Winklepat. Hearts up.
And I just wanna add. So a couple days ago, when I announced that I was going to be doing live ticketed shows from my home, it was a crazy experiment, and we didn't know if it would work. And we sold out one of the shows in one day. Between all the shows, we sold 600 tickets in one day.
Wow.
And that is something I've never done in my career.
Wow.
It is something that it really touched me in an amazing way. And I love you guys, and I appreciate the support, and it shows me that, you know what, things are going to be fun. We're going through a lot together right now, but things are going to be okay. And you guys saved this for me. I lost 2 months worth of touring work, as most comedians have, probably a third month now. And you guys made it all okay in one day. And so I can't wait to perform on the show on Sunday, and I can't wait to do those 3 shows on Monday. You guys are the best. I'm going to tear up if I don't go now. So
Yay!
bye, everybody.
Bye.
Taylor, take us to the theme music.